So we're here to talk about your new show, Arrow, but I can't start off with Arrow. I've got to start off, of course, with Teen Wolf, because you've got so many Teen Wolf fans out there. Colton, obviously they miss you on the show. What was it like leaving?
It was really heartbreaking. I mean, people think that, most of the time when people leave shows, it's for a bad reason. This was not for a bad reason at all. And, I had to take I wanted to be in all the episodes, and it didn't work out that way, so I had to take a leap for myself, and Arrow came along, and then now I'm happy to be on that show. The other day we had a screening of Teen Wolf at our creator Jeff Davis's house, and I hang out with all of them every day, and they're always gonna be my family, so that's all that matters to me. So
what was it like filming those last scenes?
Well, the issue was at the time I didn't know that I was going to go back to the show. So, they had two alternate endings where I either died or I became a werewolf. And they picked the one where I became a werewolf, where I lived, and then I ended up not returning, which was really sad. But in the storyline this year, they said Jackson is now the American werewolf in London. Yeah. So I'm in London right now.
Oh, so live mirroring TV.
Yeah, weird. I mean, who knows? Maybe there's a camera here trying to film Jackson in London. Who knows?
Yeah, Jackson, the reality show.
Yeah, Jackson is actually in London right now. So.
Keeping it real, definitely.
Yeah, you have to still. I have love for all my Teen Wolf fans who have actually still stayed with me, through the Arrow phase. So, they're still great. They still tweet me all the time, so I guess.
Good stuff. And what's it been like shooting Arrow, if you're pardon the pun, compared to Teen Wolf?
It's completely different. It's Teen Wolf was a lot about the relationships, like really close relationships, and also they have a lot of special effects makeup. With Arrow, it's a lot of, there are really great relationships, but it's on a really massive scale. We have cranes flying. I mean, at any point we have so many cameras filming, and they've just got such a great budget, and the show's just had such a success, and due to the comic book fans, and due to DC, that we're able to do so many things with Arrow, and we're able to shoot so many things that some of it doesn't even make it onto TV. So you never know what you're going to be talking about when you're doing press, because some of the fans didn't actually get to see a lot of the things you've done, and which is exciting because keeps you on your toes. So
definitely. What were the things in the last season that you thought, oh, that didn't make it in, it would have been great if it had, or wonder if it'll be on the DVD? Well,
there was besides a lot of the bloopers that come from me trying to, instead of do choreography, doing the fight choreography, it looks like I'm actually in a boy band or doing hip hop dancing, which is not what you're supposed to be doing when you're trying to do a fight scene. So it's like me not quite understanding choreography, but there's that, and there's also there was a few great scenes between Thea and I, kind of explaining a little more about our relationship, and possibly explaining things that we were going to do together to help save a few people. But I think they wanted to keep it more of a mystery, so they could drag it out through the second season. So that's going to be exciting for the fans, because they're going to get to see something that's been in the works for by the time the show comes out, at mid-October is when the second season comes out, something has been in the works for 6 months. So it's going to be really exciting, and it's going to be great to see their reaction to those scenes.
Yeah, so will you kind of be reliving moments that were left out in that first season with Thea, or taking things a different direction, or do you know yet how it'll work?
I do know that within the very first episode, you find out that there is a time jump, a 4-month time jump. So at that point, Roy and Thea's relationship is really, they're really in it. And obviously they're young, so anything can happen with young love. But I've watched TV shows where people stayed together for years upon years, and gone through the hardships together for 5 seasons. But I feel like they're going to be faced with a really, really hard decision based upon who finds out, who unmasks the hood, and who does it first. So you never know. If Roy unmasks the hood first, Roy now knows that Thea's brother is the vigilante, So, would he keep that from her? You never know. If she's going to find out, it could turn into a triangle of really a triangle of darkness in a way,
Yeah, gosh, darkness, secrets.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of secrets, and I have a feeling that Emily Ricard's character, Felicity Smoke, is going to, I have a feeling because she obviously knows everything that's going on within the group, so, you know, if people are going to her for information, she could be a big asset to helping keep the identity secret for Oliver.
Gives the whole thing a really interesting dynamic, don't you think?
Yeah, it's there's so many different things that they can do, and it's great because the first season's obviously about introducing a lot of the characters and things like that, which they've done really great job at. But now the sky's the limit with where they can go with everything, and who you think is, you know, actually a good guy in a sense could actually just be, you know, just trying to help the bad guys out. So.
Ooh, excitement, hey, and mounting.
And I'm trying not to give everything away. Yeah. And there's going to be, I always know, because I always know if the interviews that I don't give too much away, the executive producers like Greg Berlanti or Mark Guggenheim or Andrew Kreisberg, they'll retweet it or they'll tweet about it. So I'm like, oh, thank God. Okay, I still have a job, thank God. Yeah.
But let's move a little bit away from spoilers then, and let's move on to, I know for Teen Wolf, for example, you had a very intense fitness regime going, didn't you? Yes. And you have been tweeting some kind of gym shots lately, haven't you, as well? Yes. You're still keeping that up for Arrow, but how does it compare for that? Are you training in a different way at all?
I'm definitely training a different way. For Teen Wolf, I put on 20 pounds, which for me is, I mean, I've been a runner my entire life and played tennis and things like that, and my whole family's naturally kind of small. So, having to put on muscle is really difficult because you have to, I mean, most people are like, you have to eat all day, that's amazing. But no, like you actually have to eat all day and you get tired and you feel sick all the time. So now I'm taking a departure from that, and I think I'm just putting on 10 pounds and doing it, not really using any supplements, just doing it healthy and just trying to stay away from any, you know, cardio, but just having to do heavy weights and things like that. So, I mean, with training means probably have to be shirtless again, and you know, which is nerve-wracking, but you get over it eventually. So, you know, I have to keep up with the Greek. I don't call him Stephen Amell. I just call him Greek God. His first name is Greek, and he's not even Greek, but he just looks like a statue. Yeah. Is
it nervous, those first scenes when you have to do that?
You know, it's funny because it's like it's all smoke and mirrors with TV. You know, so like. Everyone that has like romantic love scenes and things like that, you're not just going at it. There are you have to be placed the right way. There's things, you know, like that. So when there's scenes like that, obviously you want to look your best and you want you know, the product to come out that you've actually been working hard at working out, or you just, you know, do a good angle and make it look like you've been working out, and you know, you beg them to Photoshop in some extra abs, and then, you know, you might have to like slip them a few 20s, but I would never do that. I wouldn't use a body double or anything for ab shots.
That never happens in film or TV.
I've actually never done that, but now that I'm saying it, I would love to do that. So if I could
take a few days off from the gym.
I would love if they could just let me do that. They used a body double for me for the makeup on Teen Wolf because I was allergic to the makeup. So if they could just find some like really ripped dude to like just do all my shirtless scenes, then I'd have the best job in the world. Yeah.
Maybe something to discreetly put to them when you get back.
Well, I need to put that in my. Well, the issue is I just signed my contract, so now I can't add things in there. I should have put must have shirtless body double on set who is a supermodel. I don't know. No.
Damn it. Season 3.
Yeah, season 3. Hopefully the fans keep watching so they can help me out with that. Yeah.